So any runner dealing with runner's knee, knee pain, shin splints, drop a comment. I'm very curious because it's a very common injury, and 9 times out of 10, it comes to the weak anterior chain that you have because you're not strength training. I've been injury-free for 3 years doing 22 marathons, 650 milers. I have a very intense strength and conditioning that I do 6 days a week. I'm going to give you what workouts to do for anterior chain, along with how frequently and how many reps. This way you stay injury-free, strengthen your imbalances, and enjoy your miles. So let's get right into it. So as always, just got back from my 10-mile run. Very low heart rate. The weather here is becoming like fall, and I absolutely love it. Any runner in New York City, drop a comment. Let's get in a run. But first, let's talk anterior. What is it? For runners that don't know, it's your hip flexors, your quads, your tibialis, and your core. The hip flexors are extremely important to train because they snag the leg forward. The more power, the more cadence and speed that a runner is typically going to have. The quads are very important because this is our shock absorption muscle. They're one of the biggest, obviously, muscles in our body, and they handle a lot of the pounding, protecting the knees and protecting the shock. The tibialis, now a lot of us think about we have to do calf raises, but calf raises will not prevent shin splints. A lot of runners get shin splints because they're not training the tibialis. It is a muscle that is very much neglected. Now our core keeps our form. It keeps everything intact. This way we don't lean forward. It keeps us upright. It's basically holding our body up that we need to train 24/7, and it is an endurance muscle, so we can train them pretty much every day. Now let's talk about what exercises and the rep range. Now, these are my exercises that I've used throughout the years. I'm not saying you should use them because it all depends on what your goals are. If you're a sprinter, if you're training for endurance, is it strength and conditioning? But I've been injury-free for 3 years, so I keep it simple and I just stay with what I know. So the two that I like for hips are dumbbell knee raises. Dumbbells just because obviously we're engaging more of the core and it's more of a slow, steady, controlled movement, isolating the hips. And then, of course, hanging knee raises. For quads, I like the leg extension. I love this machine because we're just isolating our quads. When we do the squats, yes, you're going to be doing quads, but you're also getting in glutes. So the second exercise I do for quads, depending, is squats, Bulgarian split squats, or isolated lunges. Other than that, the tibialis is going to be a very simple muscle that we just do tibialis toe raises with, and I keep it with a dumbbell because, again, it's slow and controlled. And then the core, there is so many exercises that you can do, so I'm not going to go over that, but drop a comment. I'll give you my routine. We have so many that the core is going to be what you need to train. Core is not just our front, our upper abs, our lower abs, but it is also our lower back as well. So we have to make sure that we hit both. So when to hit them for a new runner, beginner, advanced, I hit them 3 times a week. My Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I am in and out 20-minute sessions. I am not training to failure. I do not get sore. This is just injury prevention for me, allowing my body to isolate each muscle group so I get that stimulus, because when it comes to running, we can break these muscles down and we can become very weak. And if we become very weak, that's when injuries come into play. So I recommend 3 times a week for beginner runners, at least once a week. Now, when it comes to sets and reps, I like 5 sets to 6, 20 to 30 reps. I'm training for endurance here. I want to feel more of the burn. I don't want to just train to 12 and that's it. However, at 30 reps, I'm not going to failure. I'm leaving reps in reserve because if we go to failure, yes, we can get sore and that could hinder our performance when it comes to our runs, depending on the volume. So drop a comment. I will respond to all comments on the anterior chain. If you have questions, concerns, I am all for it. Let's make the community better. Hopefully this helps for a lot of runners. And recognize, if you do get runner's knee, it's not because of the volume 9 times out of 10. It's because of the weak hips and quads that are preventing you from increasing the volume safely, thus giving you runner's knee. Same thing for shin splints. Yes, you could potentially get shin splints by doing hills, but it's not just the hills, it's the weak tibialis muscle that I can guarantee you're not training, because a lot of runners do neglect that muscle. These muscles are very important for anybody doing a hilly or rolling marathon because they're going to be driving your knee forward in the hips. They're going to be shock absorbing up and down the hill, which is a lot harder than just moving on flat surfaces. And of course, the tibialis muscle is going to be worked a lot more at a flex position that it's not used to. So again, that's the anterior chain. Drop a comment, and I hope this helps.